Okay. YouTube, what's going on? It's been a minute. It's been a long, like 5, 10 minutes, maybe even 11 months. It is November 19th, and today is my first YouTube video of the year. For anybody who doesn't know who I am, my name is Dominic Grandoni. I am a full-time project manager, we'll say, is probably the generic term for what I do. And part-time, I do videography and photography, and I try to do YouTube on top of that. So this year's been great. I've been so thankful for everything that's happened to me this year, and I can't complain. Done a lot of traveling, a lot of great experiences, a lot of lessons learned, and still dealing with a little bit of pain too, which makes it a little bit more stressful to the average person, but it's been a great year. Can't complain. Finally getting to do my first video of the year. I guess it feels great. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things, trying to get myself on a routine of trying to create videos. I wanted to take the day today to sort of give you an update on where I am in life, and just, I guess, I don't want to say going forward with the channel, because I've had a hard time going forward and actually making the videos, just limited on time and trying to rest and prioritize certain things. And maybe that's an excuse in some aspect, but at the same token, my body does need a lot of rest, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of a business update. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, aside from my full-time job, I have some businesses. I do wedding photography and videography, as well as some stuff for small businesses. I feel like this year has been a little bit of a slow year in regards to weddings for me. I didn't have as much as last year, but I left at a crucial point of the year to go travel, so I missed out on maybe a few opportunities to shoot some weddings with my friends and under my own business. Keep in mind that I don't actually advertise for any of my work either, so if I were to advertise, I'd probably get more clients. Every client that I've got has been word of mouth, essentially, from somebody else. I guess this year, a lot of people in my industry have noticed that wedding videography, at least industry, is sort of dwindling. So I think more people are getting into photography, which I do offer services for. I just enjoy doing video a little bit more stressful to edit, but way more fun once you come up with the final product. But yeah, this year's been super slow for weddings, and I'm gonna start probably advertising very shortly, coming in the new year, for weddings packages. In regards to the small business content creation side of my business, I'd say it's probably steady. It's not much different, maybe a tad bit less than last year. But again, there's opportunities that I've missed on because I traveled and went away and stuff. Looking to expand that and obviously build a brand for that. I really haven't built a brand around my small business content creation. And everyone keeps saying, oh, create a website and advertise more of those jobs that you do. And I never do that. Again, it's just word of mouth for me. So I take the wedding stuff a little bit more seriously, but at the same token, I'm still not pushing any of my content. I'm not advertising. I'm not actively in Facebook groups reaching out. For me, it's just more so just a side gig, and whatever I get, I get. This year though, it's my turn to get married, so I could use a little bit more job. So if anybody you know needs some small business content creation work or wedding photography and videography, reach out to your boy. Some of the more cool experiences that I had on the business side of things is I got to do like a gig down at Monopoly in Hamilton. It's a nightclub. I got to see artists perform that I used to listen to back in the day, Joey and MJ. I used to listen to all the Euro music and stuff back in the day. So that was pretty cool. I did that gig last year. And then also this year, in regards to my wedding business, I got to do an elopement in Florida, which was cool. I got to travel, and like traveling and having a camera when you're working for it, I don't know, it's just always been a dream of mine. So that's something that I've got to do that I really enjoyed this year. I don't know, there's some cool weddings I did this year too, not even for my business, but for other people's businesses. Just seeing how beautiful all this whole wedding can come together. And the wedding I attended was an Italian wedding, so like it's really, I guess it really hits close to home in regards to cultural aspects. So like, I don't know, getting a whole bunch of people together and partying, like for me, I always enjoyed that. I enjoy weddings for that reason, and actually attending them and working them and seeing all that come together, and how grandeur some of these weddings are is pretty cool too. So I'm looking forward to shooting more bigger, larger weddings. And yeah, I'm hoping when I advertise, I hope to get a few more of those jobs. So this year I got to travel. I got to travel for two reasons. I said, like, the elopement. Me and Ali flew into Clearwater, Florida. We stayed there for a few days, and then 2 days later we met my friend Leo and his wife Kat and their kids, and we got to do an elopement for them. We stayed with them for I think 2 or 3 days, and yeah, like I said, that part of the traveling was really cool. And then the second reason why we traveled, which was just a few weeks after that trip, was actually for my sister's wedding. We went to Portugal for 2 weeks. and my sister got married over in Portugal, and that was a hell of a time. I don't know, it's not to brag, but it was probably the best wedding I've been to. I feel like in Portugal, I wouldn't say in Europe, but maybe in Portugal specifically, you get your bang for your buck for your weddings. You get so much more than what you do here in Canada. Everything's so expensive in Canada, and I'd even say in other parts of Europe it's more expensive. I feel like what we got for her wedding in terms of service, in terms of the way the venue looked, all the plants, the florals, I don't know, everything. The whole venue was beautiful. Everything was worth the bang for the buck for what my sister got. Anyone that's Portuguese looking to get married in Portugal, I suggest you do it. I think it's a really good idea that you do that. So yeah, we came back from our trip, and then I just been in grind mode ever since. So this year, if any of you guys seen any of my videos from last year, you know that I proposed to Ali last year in Italy, and we have been wedding planning. And this is probably my least favorite thing that I've done the whole year, is wedding planning. And it's not so much that it's hard, it's just a matter of making decisions. That's the hardest part, because you have a budget and you don't know what your budget's going to be, especially for a destination wedding, because we're doing our wedding in Italy, just outside of Florence, in a town called Monte Spertoli, which is pretty cool. The hardest part about budgeting for this wedding is not knowing how many people are going to come. So for example, if you have a wedding here in Canada and you're going to invite 200 people, there might be 20, 30 people that don't show up. When you're trying to create a guest list and guess how many people are willing to make the trip overseas to go to Italy, it's a little bit harder because you don't know how much you're going to end up spending. Like, you think worst case scenario, if say half of the people show up, you're going to be paying this much, because I think on average they say roughly around 30% of the people for destination weddings usually show up. For example, my sister invited 480 people, and I think 180 people showed up. I think we're gonna have a little bit more than 30%. Yeah, that's been the hardest part, just making decisions and actually buckling down and doing it on top of having a job and doing all these photography and videography jobs on the side is pretty difficult. Wedding planning just gets in the way, and then when you and your spouse or your loved one are just trying to make decisions and you guys are butting heads, it's very nerve-wracking because you guys just don't want to deal with the stress. You don't want to argue over certain things, because that happened between me and Ali. We've butted heads on certain things. I have the big Italian family. She doesn't have a lot of family and friends here, so I'm being the groomzilla essentially, and I hate leaving people out. That's what makes it a little bit difficult for me to make decisions, is I can't plan out a budget. On top of that, you don't want to leave anybody out, and you don't want to cut certain people out. So that's been the hardest struggle for me, is getting over those humps of learning how to make final decisions. At the same token, we ended up sort of doing what I wanted more than what Ali wanted in this situation, but I think the end result is going to be closer to what Ali wants, just because it is a destination wedding and a lot of people won't come, and we realize that it's a big commitment for people to come. I just want to be able to invite those people and they can make their decision on if they want to come or not. So we're slowly moving through that. We still got a few more vendors that we have to meet up with and figure out who we're going to use and stuff. But yeah, most stressful process ever, guys. So be prepared. I feel like God does test you right before you get married to see if you are actually going to work through the marriage. So it's super difficult. I wanted to talk today also about going forward for this channel too. I don't know what's going to happen with this channel. I've made so many promises in saying I'm going to start doing YouTube videos, and then the first little bit of the year you're not busy because it's January, February, and then March starts to hit. People want to advertise for certain things, and you get called to do all these side jobs. And then I'm a guy that's working in the business. I do everything from taking the pictures, taking the video footage, and actually editing it myself. Right now, I don't rely on third-party software to edit stuff for me or nothing. I do everything from scratch by hand. I feel like as a visionary of somebody who wants to have good work and create those things, I sometimes get stubborn in thinking that it has to look a certain way. I have a very tight threshold in what I'll let go on the creative aspects of things. For example, I can't sub out myself editing video jobs, and I can't sub out photo editing. There is AI. The AI is actually getting a little bit better for photography, but I still struggle with it being perfect. I think I might even over edit some stuff. I look at some of the stuff that I edit and I'm like, nobody does this. I do it. And it's not to say I'm any better, but sometimes it might even look too edited when I go look back on things. But my main goal is to make sure that my clients are happy. As long as my clients are happy, and I tell them, be open with me, tell me if there's anything wrong with the stuff that I provide you. My main thing is to have my clients happy and make sure they're satisfied with the product that I give them. Being a creative, like I said, is super, super difficult to get over that hump of subbing out certain aspects. I am looking into doing it. It's just I got to find the right person that I trust with my creative vision to do that, to sort of ease off a lot of the, I guess we'll say, head down work that's involved with the business. Because right now I'm not working on my business, I'm working in my business. And in order to grow that business, since my goal is to obviously be self-employed, it'd be better for me to work on the business, get those sales, get you know what I mean, maybe create some products. And that's something I'm looking at doing too, is creating an online digital product, maybe for the wedding space. Me and Ali started a process during our wedding planning, and we were doing vlogs at the beginning, and then it got really hard because you just can't pull the camera out. So maybe we'll create something after the fact on stuff that's actually helped us, or stuff that we've created that was difficult for us during the wedding process that we've created to make it easier for you guys. So no promises there yet, but it's still a work in progress. But I do want to create some online digital products to make some passive income. I feel like right now the online digital product space is the way to go, because the only thing you're fronting right now is your time. And if you put the time and effort to create a beautiful product, something good that people like, that they enjoy, and that's appealing to them, I feel like it's a good way to give value to the world as well as make some money on the side. So that's something I really want to look at doing in the future. One thing I got to do is maybe come up with a plan on how I want to do these vlogs, because I really want to stick to them. I really want to at least put like maybe a video a month, maybe one every other week. I don't know what the plan is, but maybe to have a structure on having a shooting day, maybe once a month, creating that video, or even every other week, and creating those videos and putting them out there. I really want to have a few videos in the bank before I actually start posting every week. I feel like that's a safer bet. For example, this is hard to say, but if I'm relying on shooting something this week and putting it out for next week, it makes it a lot harder than if I have like 4 or 5 videos in the bank. I'm gonna probably put this video out maybe next week or the week after. Then I'm gonna create another video next week. I think that it's good to have stuff in the bank that you can post and not worry about rushing for next week's video. I do have to come up with a structure of like having shooting days, creating, I guess, stories and stuff. I haven't done a lot of that. I have a few ideas in the bank, but I feel like some of those ideas might be outdated, but maybe you guys just want to see it just because it's me. You know what I mean? I'm a little different than every other creator. Every creator is individually different and unique, and maybe you guys want to see all that stuff. So being consistent with the shooting is the hardest part, obviously, because things get thrown in the mix. I've honestly started like doing so many vlogs. I have so much stuff in the vault, we'll say, and that's like on my hard drives that I can edit, but I have to find a way to sort of structure them and turn them into an actual video. So I have a lot of stuff where I started doing a vlog and talking in camera, and then I ended up not finishing it. Like, for example, when I went to Clearwater with Ali, I started doing a vlog, and then I didn't really finish on the vlog. I was gonna do a vlog on how we were gonna shoot an elopement over there, but then it got hard with my buddy Leo. We were shooting it, and then we were watching the kids while him and his wife had to go do paperwork. So you're babysitting, you're shooting it. I'm trying to help Ali, Ali's trying to help me. So it's just hard to get a camera and keep moving it around and doing all these things. And then in Portugal, same thing. I attempted a vlog. I started talking at the beginning of the trip, and then it sort of dwindled by the end of the trip. I just don't want to do the vlog anymore. I wanted to enjoy the trip. I feel like I'm always chasing that need to create the video. It's not coming organically to me. So I might create something out of that too. I have a lot of great footage. I just don't have, I guess, talking points on how I'm gonna structure the video now, because near the end of that trip, I stopped talking to the camera. I just more so did stuff like scenic stuff, you know what I mean? And then I started just using my phone. I wasn't even using the camera, because lifting the camera everywhere, going to the beach, getting it all sandy and holding it and walking everywhere, it just made it super difficult. So consistency is the hardest part of doing this whole YouTube thing. But again, we're gonna try again. I'm not making no promises this time. By doing these videos too, I can build my personal brand a lot. I really want to build my personal brand and let you guys know a little bit more about me. There's some things I'm actually embarrassed, a little scared or nervous to share with you guys, and it's nothing really, I don't know, it's nothing really bad or nothing like that. It's just more so like being vulnerable on camera is a little bit more. You sort of want to keep things limited on camera, because, you know, social media is not real life. It's only what you want to show. And I think for my audience to get a better understanding of who I am, I think it's better to sort of open up a little bit more on camera. And that's why there's certain things that I'm talking about in here that I feel like I'm being a little bit more vulnerable with. So I'm gonna be building my personal brand, maybe showing you guys the side of things of like the part-time filmmaker, not the full-time filmmaker. I'm not a gearhead. I'm a guy who just relies on the tools that I have. I don't need the newest gear, because I do this part-time. I don't do it full-time. I want to show you guys how I work with the not so newest gear to create the things that I have. And I think it's pretty easy to do that. I don't think you need the newest camera, the newest gear. I think you can work with some of the stuff that's on sale, or some older stuff that's on sale. Like I'm shooting this on a Canon R6 and the Canon R6 Mark III just came out. I really do want the camera, but right now I got a wedding to pay for, so not buying any gear anytime soon unless something breaks, obviously. So yeah, I'll show you guys that side of things after I do these next few videos. I think I'm going to start off by doing a dopamine detox. I really need that. I've been scrolling on social media way too long, so I've been literally on TikTok or on Instagram, and in certain scenarios where I honestly feel embarrassed, like while I'm on my phone, I'm just like, why am I keep looking at my phone? So I want to do that. I want to cut out TV. I want to, like, just for a week, we're going to do a week's detox. I want to cut out maybe listening to music and any bad habits that I have. I'm going to cut all those things out and solidify myself so I can get on my sleep on track, so I can, I guess, get my brain. I feel like my brain's off. I'm a little bit cloudy minded. I don't feel as motivated as I normally do. I've just been doing a lot of bad habits and mindlessly scrolling through social media. So a dopamine detox might be like a documentary, I guess, film that we're gonna, not a film, but we're gonna do like a documented YouTube video on how my dopamine detox goes and things that I'm doing to replace that time that I can keep doing after the fact. I used to do, like, I have a red light that I hardly use, and I want to use that again because it really benefits my ongoing skin problem that I have. Another thing is my skin problem. Any updates on my skin problem? So like, I'm still in pain almost every day. I won't say every day, but I will say almost every day. Lately, it's been a little bit bad. I find that my skin gets worse when the weather transitions from like cold to hot or hot to cold, and we're in that fall going into winter period right now, and I've been having a little bit of flare-ups at night, like maybe an hour and a half scratching at night, which is like unbearable at times because you want to be productive throughout the day and you can't because you didn't get proper sleep because your skin's itchy. It's something you do not want to live with. It's something that I got to get over and I got to learn to deal with, and maybe I have to create new habits and a new routine that will help me overcome my skin problem. And I think that's a lesson that God is trying to show me, is that I have to overcome and learn something from this before I move on and get past it. I think I am going to be talking about that a little bit more this year on the things that I did, and then showing you guys, I guess, different solutions that I have that have helped me. They necessarily haven't got rid of my skin condition, but it's actually helped me tame it a little bit better. So yeah, you're going to be seeing more of that stuff. You're going to be seeing the part-time filmmaker. Again, no promises, because I say that every year. We're going to come up with a plan to create quicker, structured videos for you guys. So whether that takes me a few months or not, but I'm going to start posting in the next few weeks and then continue doing the videos every week. I have one wedding video that I'm working on right now, Leo and Kat's elopement, and then I have a few small jobs that I have to get done. So once I get those done, I'll be steadily doing the YouTube videos. Okay guys, we're gonna call it there. This is the end of the video, and you guys will see me on the next video. Take it easy, ciao.